I'm hearing everybody else is saying they've only just found out. It's breaking news. It's like the Conor Benn situation. The news is changing every hour. So let's see what more information comes out this afternoon. What more?
Stevenson, a winner, a still champion, and unquestioned.
Johnny's gut punch of disappointment could just as easily apply to Daniel Dubois. Same playbook, stay quiet, hope it disappears, and blame confusion. But this isn't a mistake, it's betrayal. PEDs don't just taint wins, they expose weakness. In Dubois, he's looking shakier by the hour. Frank Warren's up next, and even he sounds like he's distancing himself from this PR nightmare.
Don't matter what drugs you take, it doesn't make you a better fighter. Might make you stronger, might make you fit. It doesn't make you a better fighter, and that's proof. You know, so until more news comes out.
Frank Warren's tone says it all. Damage control mode. This was a fight built on a crumbling foundation, and Dubois' failed test was the final crack. It's crazy, alright, but not in a good way. A fighter trying to mask fear with chemicals? That's not elite, that's pathetic. Now Joe Rogan peels back the layers. PDs don't just destroy careers, they expose desperation.
Penny dropped that the fight could never go forward. And some of the stuff that's come out since about people being, the board being sued and something, but and so forth is just a non-runner. It's crazy. I mean,
Rogan's words hit hard. Cheaters might find redemption, but not immunity. And Dubois won't find salvation behind a lab test. Whether it's religion or rehab, nothing hides the fact he cheated. He needed PEDs just to compete, and he still crumbled on one knee when it mattered. What would you do in this situation? Tell us in the comments. Now Simon Jordan lays down the law, fail once, and you're finished. And Dubois, that door's already shut.
A two-sided story there. He got off PEDs, and he also found Jesus Christ. So he stopped going to strip clubs, he stopped hanging out with girls, but he stopped having fun. And then got serious about Jesus and got knocked the fuck out. Take them steroids.
Simon Jordan's stance is ruthless and completely right. Dubois shouldn't get a second look. He's not just a quitter anymore, he's a cheater too. It's not about forgiveness, it's about protecting the sport. If a guy ducks behind a steroid cycle and still folds mid-fight, why should we believe in his return? And now the killer blow, Usyk himself steps in and calls Dubois exactly what he is, afraid.
Yeah, listen, I've always been strong on that. I've always been strong on the fact that I don't believe in giving them a second chance.
You're basically saying, no 3 strikes and you're out.
No 3
strikes and you're out.
No.
One, you fail a test and gone ski.
Absolutely, because I just believe then that moving forward, people would think twice about doing it. If they think, well, you know what, I'll get a second chance anyway,
Usyk doesn't need to yell, he just tells the truth. Dubois isn't just scared, he's broken. Mentally fragile, physically suspect, and now chemically exposed. Finished on one knee, now exposed in a lab. Usyk saw through him ages ago, and now the world finally has proof. Dubois isn't ready, he never was. Now Dubois tries to talk the talk, but no amount of hype can wash away this stain.
Does he deserve this opportunity? Or is there someone else more deserving? Joe Parker maybe, or does Daniel deserve his shot?
Yeah, I think Daniel deserves, because Daniel from UK, it's interesting for
Daniel Dubois talks about rewriting history, but history's now got an asterisk next to his name. These are emotional words, a tribute to his father's dream, and a message to fans who still believe in him. But how can you claim you're on fire when that same fire might have been chemically lit? The failed PED test hasn't just raised eyebrows, it's shaken belief. Was the confidence real or manufactured? Was the body transformation the result of relentless training, or was there a little help in the shadows? It's sad because if Dubois had won clean, this speech would have hit fans right in the chest. But now, all that's left is doubt. People don't know whether to support him or turn their backs. One thing is clear though, words won't clean up a failed test. And right now, the fans are looking for truth, not fairy tales. Usyk returns now, measured, clear, and drives home what he said all along. Dubois never had the heart.
This time around, it's gonna be totally different. I'm gonna win for a start, and we're gonna just change history. It's gonna be, all eyes are gonna be on this. This is the biggest fight in the world, and I'm so confident, and
Usyk's broken English doesn't hide the sharpness of his message. He calls Dubois what many are now thinking, afraid, not just of Usyk, but of the spotlight, the pressure, and now the truth. He's not slandering, he's stating facts. Dubois quit against Joyce, quit against Usyk, and now there's the PED cloud hanging over him. That's not a warrior's profile. The world's starting to see that maybe Dubois was never built for these moments. He's big, strong, and explosive, but mentally fragile. And Usyk, the ultimate technician and thinker in the sport, saw through it years ago. This isn't just mental warfare anymore, it's exposure. Usyk knows exactly where Dubois cracks, and if this rematch happens, he'll go straight for that pressure point again. But this time, the whole world's watching to see if Dubois is clean or hiding behind substances again. Usyk's calm words carry more weight than any trash talk. Dubois tries to clap back now, still clinging to the idea he was robbed. But who's robbing who here?
Does he deserve this opportunity? Or is there someone else more deserving? Joe Parker maybe? Or does Daniel deserve his shot?
Yeah, I think Daniel deserves, because Daniel from UK. It's interesting for.
There's something frustrating about hearing Dubois say he was robbed. Fans saw what happened. He landed one shot, Usyk got back up, and then Dubois collapsed under pressure. Again. Now he wants to rewrite that ending. And worse, he's talking about throwing the kitchen sink. But can we even trust what he's throwing anymore? With the PEDs in play, even his past punches feel suspect. It's not just about what happened in the ring anymore, it's about what was in his system when it happened. How can you cry foul when your own foul play is being investigated? There's no moral high ground when a failed test is hanging over your name. Dubois might truly believe he was robbed, but public opinion is turning fast. You can't talk about redemption while dragging the sport down in the mud. And if he wants another shot at Usyk, he better come in clean, not just physically, but mentally too. Tony Bellew now, someone who's been in the trenches, gives his honest take on that body shot, and it doesn't favor Dubois.
I think he's been down a few times with body shots, so yeah, there's definitely this time I got to throw this kitchen sink at him, you know.
Yeah.
Tony Bellew brings credibility. He knows what it's like to take punishing shots. So when he says that punch was legal, people listen. He's not just throwing out opinions, he's dissecting the moment like a fighter. And in his eyes, that so-called low blow wasn't low, it was legal. This puts even more pressure on Dubois, because if Bellew's right, then what happened after that punch wasn't resilience, it was retreat. And now with the PED test looming in the background, the whole picture turns darker. Maybe that wasn't just pain, maybe it was the realization that the enhancements weren't enough to carry him through a war. Bellew's bluntness reflects what many fans feel deep down. Something didn't add up that night, and now the pieces are starting to fall into place. And if Dubois was already looking for a way out, maybe PEDs were just the final mask. Joe Rogan is next, and his stunned reaction to leaked Usyk footage makes this contrast even sharper.
Do you believe it was illegal? I do.
I thought it was illegal or illegal?
I thought it was illegal. It's called a protector for a reason.
Yeah.
He hits the protector.
It's illegal.
Yeah, it's below the
It's
navel.
a low blow.
The navel's essentially
What's your thoughts, Carl?
I thought it was all right.
Did you?
Yeah, but I'm back on my man, so
No. We've all got to go on. We've all got to accept this right now. Was it good for you? It wasn't good. It wasn't a good shot for me. So.
When Joe Rogan gets surprised, it's for a reason. The leaked Usyk training footage wasn't just impressive, it was terrifying. Rogan's praise highlights exactly why Usyk is in a league of his own. He's not bulking with suspicion. He's moving like a featherweight with heavyweight IQ. And while Dubois is caught up in a scandal, Usyk is caught on camera doing what champions do, preparing with precision, focus, and hunger. The contrast couldn't be more stark. Usyk looks like a man chasing greatness. Dubois looks like a man trying to salvage credibility. One's headline reads, "Elite shape." The other, PED violation under scrutiny. That's the legacy gap right now. Rogan knows the sport, and his reaction was more than just awe. It was respect. The kind of respect Dubois could have earned if he'd walked the clean path. But now, Usyk's stock rises while Dubois fights shadows. Next up, Carl Froch gives a veteran's perspective, and even he's starting to second guess what Dubois truly brings to this rematch.
Давай.
Carl Froch is trying to be fair, but even in his words, there's a hesitation that screams uncertainty. Dubois is a different machine, sure, but is that because of training or test tubes? That phrase doesn't land the same after a failed PED report. Fans can't help but wonder what Froch really thinks. He acknowledges Usyk as the favorite. Of course he does. How could you not? But the comment about Daniel can definitely win feels more like wishful thinking than conviction. Froch then pivots and says Usyk shouldn't keep fighting. But why? Because he's done enough, or because even the best get tired of dragging the sport through scandals like this one. The truth is, the only real machine here is Usyk, a disciplined, methodical beast who sharpens his mind and body without shortcuts. Dubois, on the other hand, looks like a product of desperation. Froch sees a good fight, but what fans are really seeing is a clean legend versus a tainted challenger. That's not an exciting matchup. It's a redemption trial, and Daniel's credibility is already slipping through the ropes. Duke McKenzie's up next, and even while praising Dubois, he can't hide who he'd never bet against.
Now is a different machine.
Self-confidence will be...
And time waits for no man, as the saying goes. I just think that this is a fight it's exciting. It's a good fight. You've got to make Usyk the favourite, but it's a fight that Daniel Dubois can definitely win. I don't think Usyk should.
Duke McKenzie gives Dubois credit. He's more seasoned, more composed, maybe even improved tactically. But let's be honest, the line if he was fighting anybody else says everything. That's not confidence in Dubois. That's a polite way of saying he's still not good enough to beat Usyk. And now with this PED scandal looming, the much more controlled version of Dubois feels artificially constructed. Yes, he picks his punches better, but are those punches his? Or are they coming from a chemically enhanced engine? Big heart, Duke says. But does a fighter with a big heart take the easy road when things get hard? Because that's exactly what Dubois did. Took a knee and now possibly took a banned substance too. That's not courage, that's crisis management. Duke knows Usyk is cut from a different cloth. If Daniel were fighting someone else, maybe Joyce again, maybe a lesser heavyweight, he might stand tall. But against Usyk, especially with this scandal in play, it's not just uphill, it's a mountain. And Daniel's climbing it with a broken compass. Next up, a brutal clip that sums up what Dubois is now fighting for: reputation, redemption, and relevance.
Say, if he was fighting anybody else other than Alexander Usyk, I would pick him to win. But what they're convinced...
You think he is number 2 heavyweight in the world right now?
Yeah, absolutely.
Everything's changed now. What was once billed as a redemption fight is now clouded in controversy, distrust, and damage control. Daniel Dubois was already a polarizing figure, from the knee against Joyce to the accusations of quitting against Usyk. But this, a failed PED test, it shifts the entire narrative. Fans who once gave him the benefit of the doubt are now questioning everything. Was his power ever real? Was the new and improved version of Dubois just lab work in disguise? Meanwhile, Alexander Usyk remains the calm eye in the storm. Leaked training footage shows him in peak condition, sharp, agile, mentally dialed in, and all without scandal, without shortcuts. He doesn't need hype because his record, his legacy, and his mindset speak louder than any failed test ever could. If Usyk wins again, and let's be real, most expect him to, he won't just beat a man, he'll bury a narrative. But if somehow Dubois pulls off a miracle, the win won't be clean, no matter what the scorecards say. That stain doesn't wash off easy. It'll be debated, picked apart, and doubted for years. This fight isn't just about belts now, it's about truth versus tarnish. It's a mental and moral collision. So we ask you, are you riding with the calm storm that is Alexander Usyk, the man who wins with heart, timing, and cold discipline? Or are you still backing Daniel Dubois, hoping he can silence the critics and rewrite his story once more, even as the world questions everything around him? Let's hear it in the comments. Has Dubois lost your trust for good, or does he still have one last shot at redemption? Drop your thoughts below. Who are you backing in this chaos?